And we are back. Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke only using fairy types this time around, and we are almost to the third gym as we're still clearing out the trainers in that fighting type gym. We've got the Carbink out here, that rock fairy type, and the counters are coming down. So we are just cheesing the Sharpen, and we're just going to ramp up on the Heracross, working with that bug fighting type, and we are holding on with 34 HP. The Rocky Helmet doing a lot of chip damage. I'm a little bit nervous to swap into other Pokemon who don't have such a high uh defensive stat as the chip away comes down, and this Heracross is just grinning, is very gleeful, and I should probably swap out and get somebody healthy out there, but I'm really digging the Carbon as the brick rate comes down, goes through the reflect as we are still cheesing the Sharpen, and we hold on with 2 HP. Mistakes were made, and sometimes I really am just too afraid to swap in and out, and that is just probably the right decision here as the Intimidate comes down and holding the bug fighting type at bay, as well as GSN just going to fade away with the bulldoze, and we are safe and sound. Nothing scary here. As far as the actual gym battle against Karina here, the Mienfoo comes down, and we've cooked up another Swords Dance strategy, the Intimidate, dropping the attack of the starting Mienfoo as well, looking good there. And now we are going to swap into Kuramine. The Carbink getting that Rocky Helmet chip is beautiful. Again, we're going to get the Reflect setup as well. The Power Punch not doing a lot of damage through both that high defense and now the Reflect up as well. The Intimidate to boot. As you can see, we only have 3 Pokemon, as I did manage to over level our starter Kalos, the Azumarill, which is not what you want to see, but we are doing just fine here. I believe I over leveled another fairy type as well, because I think we're supposed to have 5 Pokemon, but using the 3 that we have at our disposal, no problem. The power punches continue to come down, the Mawile doing work with the Sword Stance, going for that potential sweep as we get another one in as well. But the attack continuing to rise on the Mienfoo side, and if we don't hurry up here, the Reflect drops, and now we are in contention for a lot of damage. However, it pivots to a double slap, which isn't going to do a ton of damage as we get hit 4 times. We have the return. I believe we have the Silk Scarf as well to buff those normal type moves. The Hawlucha comes down, level 32, looking really good here. We're leaning into the return as well. The Flying Press connects, and we actually don't have the Silk Scarf. We have the Citrus Berry for reprieve as we fade with a return, and it is not enough to one-shot the Hawlucha. The Ace getting the reprieve with the Hyper Potion, looking good there as another return comes down. We leave Hawlucha in the red, and another Hyper Potion comes down. Karina not wanting to lose her flying Sumo Wrestler, and another return connects, leaving the red HP. The Flying Press does come down, no crit, thankfully, and the return fades on the Hawlucha, only leaving the Machoke left. Ambrecht gets the level up there. The Machoke comes down. He's wanting to get those rock tombs down. He's looking hungry, and we pivot back into the Carbink for some potentially rocky helmet chip if it does make physical contact as the crit comes down. Not something you want to see, but as you saw there, the speed did not drop as Carbink's passive is clear body, meaning its stats cannot be reduced by the enemy, which is really helpful there as the rock tomb is such a good utility move. Carbink doing work there with the Reflect, but now we are pivoting into Santaloon, hopefully getting a nice fairy type move off. And here we go. We're going for it. Let's see how much damage this does as a Leer comes down, dropping our defense. And it is going to be a 2-shot, which is beautiful. So no crit here as the Macho gets greedy for another Leer, and that will be his final mistake as we secure the 3rd gym badge. That was not a clean fight by any means, but I will take it. All right, we go ahead and get our hands on a Shiny Stone and evolve that Floette into the Florist, a very, very nice defensive special defense Pokemon. Let's see if we can lean into that moving forward. Puppy guarding the 4th gym is going to be our rival Serena once again, with her troublesome Meowstic leading the charge here. That speed stat is so good at setting up. But speaking of setting up, we have a Swords Dance here. The Fake Out's going to come down to a little bit of chip off the top of the Steel typing, keeping us safe. On top of that, we were able to obtain the Leftovers. So now any setup strats is just going to be a lot more manageable, getting that health back every single turn as we eat the Disarming Voice. No problem there. The Leftovers doing work. Ambret looking great with its scary jaws here. We're going to lean into the second Swords Dance as the Psybeam comes down, potentially dodging any criticals and any confusions would be absolutely glorious as we get another Swords Dance down. And now do we go for it all, or do we lean into the bite? Absolutely. We're just going to have to eat this. Not very effective Disarming Voice. No problem. The bite comes down, and it is going to be a 1-shot. Beautiful. So now we only have 2 Pokemon left. We need to remember what happened to the Dedenne. Any Water Pulse criticals could be a death sentence here, as we are +4 attack. We're going to lean into the power-up punch for another +1. The water pulse does massive damage here as we get a nice power-up punch. We're at +5 now, but we are in range. We could potentially die to the Frogadier now, and we can just pivot into a healthy Pokemon. We do not need to get greedy here. Kalos could resist the water pulse very nicely, and that is exactly what we're going to do. The water mouse comes down. This water pulse should not do much. Please dodge the confusion. We do not. The confusion could be a death sentence, but let's see if we can dodge any of these. We're going to lean into the neutral strength here. The quick attack does not do a lot of damage, but the confusion adding up here. Can you be the one? Can you be the starter? Can you set an example for the rest of the squad here? The water mouse hits itself again, and Kalos is confused. Kalos is dazed. The water pulse comes down, and Kalos is now at 50% HP, eating the berry, trying to get some more HP, and finally break through that third confusion, get the strength down, and it does hardly any damage. Can we get one more? We do not have huge power on the water mouse, so we are not benefiting from all that extra damage, but finally we drop Serena's ace, and that still leaves the Absol as we are struggling in these fights with only 3 Pokemon. This is just ridiculous. The Coromine, we're going to swap into Carbink here and hopefully get an advantageous setup here. The bite hurting Absol really good. The Rocky Helmet doing work as well. We do have Ancient Power to boot. Quick attack. Absol continues to hurt himself, and this could just be a self-sacrifice as Absol cannot work around these physical attacks into a brick wall that is Carbink, and this is a much better matchup for us as Coromine is just tanking until the cows come home. The Ancient Power for the fade, and now let's see if we can squeak into that 4th gym and get a good strategy going. No casualties on the way to Ramos from that Serena battle, thankfully. And let's see if we can beat this 4th gym leader. He's got grass-type Pokemon. His Weepinbell does have access to some poison-type moves, so we got to watch out for that. As well as the Go-Go is just a very strong Pokemon in general. So I've cooked up a strategy that could potentially get a nice setup cheese and sweep the rest of the squad. So let's go ahead and get that underway. We're going to get the Trick Room here, getting Carbink and most of the team faster, as a lot of these Pokemon do not have high speed stats. The Gardevoir and Dedenne both have probably the highest fairy type stats in this run, and we were not able to secure the Gardevoir, as well as our Dedenne died. So we are working with a lot of slow Pokemon here. We get the Grumble out there to safety. We do have the leftovers for reprieve, so we have Reflect keeping us safe, or I'm sorry, we have the Trick Room giving us the speed, and now the Thunder Wave is underway, giving us the speed boost. And now what we're going to do here is we're going to completely maim the Jumpluff. We are going to drop Jumpluff to -6 HP, so those acrobatics are doing absolutely no damage. And then I do believe we're going to do a Flash Cheese and get the accuracy out of the gym as well. So the Jumpluff is going to struggle to hit, and if it does, it doesn't do a lot of damage. And then it's going to struggle to even land any moves, meaning we can really get a nice setup going here. So here we go. And we have the Jumpluff completely made with the paralysis, which is just huge. The acrobatics comes down, and that is doing nothing. And now we're going to be able to get these flashes in and completely drop the accuracy on the Jumpluff. So I will go ahead and fast forward until Jumpluff is -6 accuracy as well. All right, so we got the Florges out there as well to get a wish in between swaps so that our Grumble could be full HP. And then all we did was hit the silly Jumpluff 6 times to get the Power Punch to +6. So we have cleared the Jumpluff. However, it doesn't matter as a crit takedown brings Geosenge the Grumble to yellow. We barely get the leftovers for reprieve, and Go-Go doesn't fall to the +6 attack from our Grumble. Thankfully, the takedown nukes himself, but we had to risk another critical there, which is just terrifying. The Grumble makes it out, and now we are floating at 31 HP with a Weepinbell, and if we do not one-shot this final Pokemon, we potentially lose the Grumble. So we are really going to have to consider this, as Weepinbell can hit super effective on Kalos, can hit super effective on Sandalwood with the poison typing, and Coromine can't really do anything other than Ancient Power against it. So we might as well just roll it all. Hashtag do it for the Dedenne, and this could be it. We do have +6 attack, and we should be faster than the Weepinbell. So really, it's just, can a neutral bite do the damage that we need? And that is a very high attack stat. So I do believe this is what we are going for. 1, 2, 3, Geosenge on me. Come on, can we do this? The Grumble from downtown, 1 bite to rule them all. Look at the Weepinbell. He is ready. He is scared. I do believe. Let's drop back and do it. And we're not doing anything. Let me just cut to where we do it. We can do it. Can we do it? Can we click bite? Can we win the game? I'm just kidding. We swap into the Florges and do a complete Flash Wish Cheese to where we lower the Weepinbell's accuracy, so it starts missing a bunch of stuff, and we just keep healing with Wish. but we get poisoned on top of that, and now we are in a really tough spot. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pivot to the Carbink with a Wish set up and potentially be able to take on the Weeping Bell from there, as its accuracy is now dropped. So let's see if we can get that Chubby Rock in there. And this fight is an absolute disaster. There was no good game plan. The crit from the Go-Goat really screwed up everything because it made me so scared to lose the Grunbull. But here we go. Now the Weeping Bell can't hit for a ton of damage, since the rock typing is going to keep him at bay, and the ancient power doing work there as well. We just need a couple more. The acid does miss because of the flash procs, and now can we just drop that? We do get the omni boost as well on the chubby little fairy rock, and one more ancient power finally puts this fight to rest. This was one of the most disgraceful fights, but I'll take the gym badge and make a run for it. All right, so we take out Team Flare, we fix the power plant in Lumio City, and that means it is time to take on the 5th gym leader, Clement, and his electric type Pokemon. We don't have any ground type pivots. We don't have a ton of Pokemon that can tank the Stab Thunderbolt, so this is actually going to be a really tough fight. As the Emolga leans in with the Volt Switch, we predicted this, lining up the Bulldoze against the Magneton, which is going to be 4 times super effective, as well as popping the Sturdy, or at least getting us in potion range, so we can just rinse repeat the Bulldoze until Clement uses all of his potions, and we clear the very scary Magneton, who has access to a Stab Steel type move, which could absolutely shred the entire team. So the first hurdle of this fight is going to be completely cleared here. The Grumble doing absolute work. And now the Heliolisk, I believe, is going to come back out, potentially the Emolga. It really just depends what Clement is feeling, as we do finally clear the Magneton. So 1 down, 2 to go. The leftovers for reprieve. We are looking really good at 116 HP. The Helios comes down. I do believe we can tank 1 Thunderbolt. It is Stab. We do, and the Bulldoze comes down. We get a nice speed drop there. And does that mean we are faster? If we are, this is going to be a complete and utter sweep. We can lean into another Bulldoze here, but the Helios is still faster, and we lose Grumble because of a new play. Absolutely not. That was so bad. I'm not that familiar with Heliolisk, but I really should have just assumed he was still going to be faster than the Grumble. We could have easily swapped into Santalune Floor just to eat a Stab Thunderbolt as well, because her special defense is so high. So now we've lost another Pokemon because of my failures, and this is not going well. We've lost the Cotton Candy, we've lost the Dedenne, and now we've lost the Grumble. On top of the Gardevoir encounter was no longer available because of the Cotton Candy in the first place. This is not going well. This run is turning out to be a lot harder than I first predicted it would be, as the floor just fades on the Heliolisk, and we should be able to finish off the Emolga here as the Aerial Ace comes down. We get some nice reprieve with the Oranberry. Wish is going to heal us for a ton as well. Emolga is cute and cuddly, but is he enough to defeat the Floating Flower here? So Fairy Wind connects. Is going to be 1 or 2 more of those in the future here. Another Wish is going to come down and heal us to a safer space, as Aerial Ace does a lot of damage. Our physical defense is not that good. A wish, a hope, a dream, as the Fairy Wind comes down, and we are really flirting with crits now. The Fairy Wind does connect, and the Wish is going to heal us to a safer space, as 1 more Fairy Wind will clear this gym, but the casualties have been brought to the surface here. The Gramble falls, and Clement is defeated. This is rough. This is going to be really tough. We are running out of Pokemon here for this run, but how far can we get? Can we even win? Let's see what happens. It's Serena, our rival, once again with her signature 3 Pokemon. We meet her right here at the marsh area. I believe it's Route 14. We throw out Kalos, our water mouse. The light screen comes down. We get a Rain Dance set up to potentially double down on those water type moves here. But we actually go for the Bulldoze, seeing if we can swap the speed, dropping the Meowstic speed that does absolutely no damage. Again, we do not have huge power, so Kalos is just left with her thick fat ability. The speed drops come in, and now we do outspeed here. Oh, I understand what I'm doing now. I'm trying to stall out the light screen that the Meowstic set up there. That is, okay, that's actually not that bad. In retrospect, there is the light screen wearing off, and now Meowstic is in the red, and we can potentially cheese a nice swap here as well. The Intimidate comes down, and it goes for a Stab Psychic, which is not going to be very effective, but it still does decent damage as we get the power up to clear. Power up punch clears, and now we are +1 attack. The Absol comes down, and we have a super effective power up punch lined up. We could also go for Sword Stance, but the bite does pretty good damage, and we flinch. Not great, but we're floating on 31 HP as a crit. Quick Attack comes down as well. This Absol does not have any feelings for Ambrit, just completely demolishing her. And now we're going to have to swap into a healthier Pokemon. It is going to be Santalune Floor, just as another Quick Attack does connect, does decent damage off the top. But we do have a Wish lined up as well as super effective Fairy Wind if need be. The Wish is going to come in as we are at half HP. We still have a chance here as Slash comes down, and it is another critical 15 HP and a dream. We barely hold on. What is this run? We are struggling. We are crawling our way to the next gym as the Great Ninja comes down, and Fairy Wind is going to be super effective and stab. We're going to set up a Wish here potentially just for a safe swap to get out of here. Thankfully, the Water Shuriken only hitting twice. The Wish comes down. The frog, the iconic frog, is holding with another critical. We hold on with 30 HP. The Wish comes true. 88 HP to our name. Another quick attack comes down. Thankfully, we live. Santaloon fades. The floor just holds on for dear life. Serena, please. All right, that leaves the 6th gym for the beginning of next video. But as far as this one goes, thank you guys so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip. Peace.